tips and tricks for solving for angles. First one, do you have all the parts that you need? So if we're looking for the measure of angle FCD, I'm going from F to D, and I'm going through point C. So I have to go around the circle this way, in this direction. And since I already know the measure of each of these parts, I can just very simply add them together. No big deal. And that is my answer. Okay? So what about if you have all the parts you don't need? Alright, so this is a little bit of backwards thinking, but it totally works. The measure of angle HGJ. H to G to J. So I'm looking at this section. That's the part that I want. Since I have this piece, and this piece that I don't want, you know that the total of a circle is 360 degrees, so I can just take out the three pieces I do not want. So subtract 149, subtract 54, and subtract 45. And that should give you 112 degrees. So that means that this entire arc and this entire angle is 112 degrees. Okay? Next up, are congruent angles involved? So two ways that you're going to see congruent angles. You may see vertical angles, which we've done a ton of. So if you have diameters involved, Mr. Eisman and I keep telling you guys to use colored pencils and highlight the diameters because it makes it easier to see the vertical angles. So if this guy's a vertical angle and this guy's a vertical angle, they're congruent. So if this guy's 78, then all the way through here is all 78 degrees. They are allowed to be that simple. Okay? The second one here is there something based on the markings of the triangle? So we're looking at for the measure of angle SWV. And since it has an arc in it, and this has an arc in it, we know that they're the same exact measurement. If it helps you to look at the arcs instead of the angles and put dashes in there, you absolutely can. So I know that an entire circle is 360, and I can knock out the pieces I don't want, so I can subtract out 45, and I can subtract out 85, and that's going to give me 230 degrees. So I know that this entire section here is 230, and since these sections are congruent, I just need to chop it in half, so divide it by 2. If there was 3 equal sections, we divide it by 3. Okay, and that's going to give you 115 degrees. Okay. Alright, our next guy here are diameters involved. So again, diameters are going to keep popping up, and they really do. They make your life easier because they chop the circle in half. So you only have to deal with 180 degrees instead of 360 degrees. Okay? So, since in this one we want to know the measure of x to y, this guy right here, and we know that we have a diameter going on here, we can just do 180 minus that 120, get our 60 degrees, and move on. Okay? So take advantage of diameters. Last one, do not forget, when in doubt, go back to the fact that a circle is 360 degrees. Okay, this one also has those markings in it here, which means that these guys are congruent. So mark your picture. If you know this guy's 16x plus 1, write 16x plus 1 on this side as well. That way, and even if you want to write these guys out here instead of inside on the angles, you can do that if you don't like going back and forth. Okay? So you're going to add all the parts all the way around the circle, and they're going to be equal to 360. So you can write out a really big equation if you want to. 16x plus 1, 16x plus 1, 21x plus 1, 35x plus 5 equals 360. Or you can jump in and start combining your like terms first. So 16x plus 16x plus 21x plus 35x. That is going to give you 88x. And then 1, 1, 1, and 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to have plus 8 equals 360. And then you're down to a two-step equation. That's easier than our warm-ups. So we can subtract 8 from both sides. 88x equals 352. Divide by 88. Knocks that guy out. 352 divided by 88 will give you 4. If it's only asking to solve for x, you would be done. If it asks you to substitute it back in and find the measure of this angle, for instance, if this was, I don't know, AB, or maybe it asks you for the measure of arc AB, if that was the actual question, you would do 21 times 4 plus 1, which will give you 85 degrees. Okay? So just make sure that you read those directions, pay attention to the details, attend to that precision. All right?